Hi video, I wanted to introduce you to the Canva app and creating an intro for a video with the application. Now before I get started, I actually want to make sure that the Canva app is downloaded. So it's this third one from the top left. And you can get that in the self-service if you haven't already done so. So before we get started, make sure that you've downloaded that. Now I'm going to go to Canvas, and I'm going to go to week 8 module, and I'm going to look for formative Canva intro. Now in the description, there is a link that says join our video class. Now you need to select that and you need to join the team. And the reason being is if you just go to the Canva app and you get started and you don't join the team, one, you won't have premium access in the app. And two, you won't be able to get to the logos, the templates, the color schemes that I've put there for our team. I created a folder and put those things in there for you, and you won't have access to that. Now, if you didn't download the Canva app first, when you select this link, it will bring you to canva.com. And I've had problems with students who are working on canva.com through the browser on Safari or Google Chrome. And then when it comes down to sharing or saving and sharing, they can't. And it's because they're on canva.com and not the Canva app. So make sure that you have that downloaded. Now, when I select join our video class, I'm already logged into Canva. So it says, do you want to join this team? And I would say yes. And then I would have the access to our video classroom colors, logos, and templates, okay? So once I'm in here and I'm part of several teams, so we see that those are all options there. So I'm gonna go to create design. And if we look here, there's suggestions, and there's like, what's really cool is if you guys already have a YouTube channel or and you need art or thumbnails, there's already a lot, of canvases there already ready for you. So we're going to go ahead and especially with social media and stuff like that. So I'm going to hit video, and notice it's 1920 by 1080 pixels. And that is the same kind of resolution you would need for television and videos. All right, it's going to take a second to load. All right, so before I get started with all the things that you could put into the document, I want you to make note of this little stopwatch in the upper middle of the screen, and it says 5.0s. And if I select that, that's telling me that right now my video will only be 5 seconds. So this is where you change the timing. The final design will be 5 seconds. Now I'm going to go through, and I wanted to show you that there's tons of videos, intros already made, and I can keep going. So if you are doing travel vlogs or makeup or beauty vlogs, you're just making funny videos. And now I'm going to keep going until you see YouTube intro, and you'll see that there's tons of intros already made and outros. So there are some already, and I want you to explore that, but we are going to make one from scratch just so you know how to do everything in Canva. So first I wanted to show you uploads. If you go to upload an image or video, this is where you can take files from your camera roll. So if you want to take your own video or take your own photo, you can bring images and videos from over there. Now if you go to photo, they actually have tons of really, really nice, and because you have pro access, you have I think it's like 60 million photos that you have access to. So maybe you actually want to use one of these as a background, or maybe you want to use one of these images. Now under photos, we have elements. And so you can see that there's a combination of shapes, lines, icons, animations, all different kinds of vector imagery. So I'm actually going to go, first I wanted to show you just a frame. So I'm just going to select this frame, and it looks like, a hill with some clouds. But the cool thing is I can go back to photos, and maybe I want to take this photo. Oops, I'm going to delete it and try again. I can take this photo and I can click and drag it into the frame. So that's kind of a way that you can crop an image, and it's just like a nice way instead of having this floating image in your composition. All right. Also, I'm going to go back to elements, and I want to show that if I go to where it has the search bar, at the end of the search bar, I can actually filter it and maybe I want to add an animation. So I was playing around with this pizza earlier, so I'm going to add it. And this is the kind of animation that I can add. So we're in this particular app, you cannot animate frame by frame like we will do later. These are pre-made animations. Now, once you've added it, I want you to notice next to the stopwatch, you can hit animate. And what animate does is it just lets me change the way that the items animate into the beginning of the composition, the video. So that's what animate does. That's basically about all the animations you could do. You could use somebody else's animation, and then you could just kind of change the way that it actually comes in. I kind of liked, I kind of like tumble. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go down to text, and you can see that they have like ones already made for you, and these are ones you can make from scratch, but they have some just to get started with early. So I'm going to pick the baked fresh one, and it's going to add it to the middle. Now, once I've added it, I'm going to select it, and then we can see at the top of the composition that I can change the font, the size, the color. And notice when I go to the color, it says Round Lake High School color. So you won't be able to see those Round Lake colors unless, you've joined our classroom. So that's the cool thing about joining. And then if I go to the ... I can change, is it centered? I can put bullet points. I can add, you could see the effects. So right now it has a shadow on it, but there's different kinds of effects that you could add. And then they all have their own properties that you can play around with. Okay, so now I'm going to go to music under text, and notice that again that my animation is now 6 seconds long because I've added that animation that comes in. So I'm going to pick like just a song. So there's songs that you could add. Now, once I select it, you'll see it at the bottom here when you hear it. And once we see up here, we can see the levels. I can actually click and drag which 6 seconds do I want to take from this. So notice that it will only play 6 seconds, even though the whole song is 2 minutes and 23 seconds. But you can click and drag around which 6 seconds do you want of that music. All right, going down, we can add video. So notice that the background, I can select the background and just give it a color, or I can actually drag a photo into this box, or I can drag a video into this box. So there is one that actually says food. So I can go to food, and maybe I want to show this guy cutting. So I can actually select that and then put that as the background. Now, notice that it went over my pizza. So I'm going to go up to position, and I'm going to say backwards. So that will send it to the back. And notice there's also like alignment things you can do too. All right, so next I'm going to go to camera roll, and that just goes directly to your camera roll if you wanted to bring anything from your camera roll. And then there's backgrounds. And so and maybe you don't want this video like I have this video. You can put a pattern background, textures, flowers, photos, and stuff like that. Okay. And then last but not least, if I go to the folders, I wanted to show you where you go to shared with you. You'll see that I have logos, and these are logos that I shared with you. So what I want you to do, you guys are just putting together some kind of silly intro. It doesn't matter what it is. You're just showing me that you've played around. But I do want you to select one of the Panther logos and bring it into your intro. All right. And for this formative. And I also wanted to show you, now that I brought this Panther in, I can go to adjust, and notice that I can change the brightness of the Panther, the contrast of the Panther, even the tint of it, which would actually change the color of it. So I just wanted you to be aware of that you can actually play around with the vector of it. Let me just bring that back to like a color that's okay. Okay. So now I've created this intro. I'm going to go to the upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to hit Save As, and I'm going to pick MP4 video and hit Download. Now what this is going to do is it's going to download to my camera roll. And it takes a while because it is a video. Okay. I'm also going to go back and I'm going to go to save to Google Classroom. And I'm going to save a copy of this also to my folder in my Google Drive that I'm saving all my video files to. Because remember, we want to back up all our videos on Google Drive. I was just making you guys videos and it actually took too much space and I actually had to delete some. Okay, so I'm going to hit save video right now, and then that means that it's saved to the camera roll. And let's go check. I'm going to go to my camera roll. I'm going to go to recents, and then here we see it, 32 seconds. There's that video that I just created. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Canvas. And I already practiced submitting it to make sure it worked, but I'm going to go to resubmit. I'm going to go to library. I'm going to go to that video that I just made. I'm going to hit use. It's going to compress the video and then submit.